Hello and welcome to And the Razzie Goes To. I'm Will Purpura.
I'm Laura Merli, and we're going through every Worst Picture winner of the Razzies, the award show that's like, we're going to honor bad things.
Yeah, and this week it's Cocktail 1988.
The year I was born.
Wow, okay. I was born last week.
Oh, congratulations.
1987.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
when we did the last one.
Now I get it. I thought you were doing one of those, like, I'm new to this world, so I don't know anything jokes.
Yeah,
You know, like, what, were you born yesterday?
Right. Yeah. What, were you born last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a new variation on that joke.
We got to spice it up, make it new. Yeah.
So I think we should just go ahead and get right into it, right?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, to recap this movie, we open on Brian, played by Tom Cruise, and he's in a car with a bunch of his military buddies. They have a pretend police siren, and they pull over a Greyhound bus. They're like, yeah, we're the police. And at first you're like, are they the police? No, they're not.
Yeah.
They pull over the bus so he can get on it for free.
Fun prank.
And then there's no pushback.
There's no repercussions, no like, where's your ticket, anything like that. I mean, I imagine that's a pretty big crime.
Yeah.
You're impersonating a police officer
and stealing a bus ticket.
And stealing
a bus ticket is definitely very less egregious.
Yeah, yeah.
But then he like makes friends with the people on the bus. They're not just like, I'm scared. Who's this guy?
There's a kid sitting on his lap, and he's like, there it is, the Big Apple.
Yeah, and he says to the kid, we're going to move there together. And I was like, why? And then he moves there, but not with the kid, because he doesn't even know the kid.
They were strangers. He's also reading a book on this bus.
How to Make $1 Million.
Yes, very good. Very good book title.
This whole movie, he's like, I'm gonna make $1 million.
He's obsessed with $1 million. No more, no less. He wants $1 million.
It's good to be really specific about your manifestation.
Well, that's true. Maybe he was ahead of the curve.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, anywho's, he goes to New York City. And he's like, I'm going to get the best, most important jobs. So he goes to all these high-powered jobs, and they're like, you don't have a degree. We can't hire you. And he's like, damn it. Guess I have to go to school, which is something you would think he would have thought of before then.
Yeah, and don't you get, I might be totally wrong about this, but if you're in the Army, don't you get like free tuition or something? Or...
I don't remember when that program started.
Okay, so maybe I'm wrong.
But there is a program.
There's something like that,
yes.
Right? One of the people that he's interviewing with, they go, because they do a lot of like people screaming into the camera, like, you're not qualified.
We don't want you here. Yeah.
One person says, you should re-enlist. What?
Yeah, I thought that was weird too.
Yeah, that was pretty harsh.
And
he just got out.
He left for a reason.
He did his time, and now he's done. He's like, it's his first day back.
Yeah. So even though his uncle owns a bar that presumably he could work at,
right? He
decides that he's going to work at this other bar because he just sees a sign for what employees. And that's where he meets Doug, who really takes him under his wing and is like, I'm going to teach you everything there is to know, kid, about being a bartender. And Tom Cruise is like, I don't want to do this for life. I just want to do this for, a little bit. And he's like, you'll see, kid.
He also, when he goes into the place, he goes, you're too late, we're closed. And it's light out.
Yes.
It's like 5 p.m. He just went on a bunch of job interviews throughout the day, and now it's like 5 or 6, and they're like wrapping up.
Yeah, it was an early day. He's trying to balance being a bartender and going to school. And his first day as a bartender, he's like, wow, this is so hard. And this scene I thought was actually really effective. There was just like a ton of people coming up to the bar like, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this. And he's like, ah!
Yeah.
I don't even know how to make any drinks. He's trying to flip through this book to figure out how to make the drinks.
Yeah.
And Doug's like, ugh. You're messing up, kid. You're doing a bad job. At the end of the night, he's so exhausted, he has to squeeze all the sweat out of his socks.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if that was sweat or he spilled drinks on himself.
I think it was a combo. I think it was like all the drinks from the floor.
A lot were in his shoes.
Yeah, a lot of drinks and sweat. Yeah. Why would they throw this person but he has bar experience, right?
No.
So he never worked at his uncle's bar at all?
When he goes to visit his uncle right before this, it seems like he would have, because he gets right behind the bar and starts pouring himself drinks. So I thought that seemed like he knew some stuff about bartending had worked there. But then he doesn't know what any of the drinks mean.
He doesn't know what's in a martini. And I don't either, but
neither do I.
But he grew up in that environment.
And you would also think that they have a ton of time before people come into the bar where they're just standing around. You would think that he'd be like, okay, so here's what's in a martini. Here's what's in this. Here's what's in that. This is what people normally order. He doesn't give him any training at all.
No basics, no nothing. Yeah.
But then, very quickly, we cut to Brian, Tom Cruise's character, and Doug. And Brian has just like absolutely mastered bartending. He's incredible at it. Girls are staring at him, even when they're with their boyfriends. They're just like salivating over how amazing he is at pouring drinks in cups. And then he also learns bottle tricks. He's like spinning them around and throwing them up. And this bar is crazy crowded. It's like 5 people deep. And they stop pouring drinks for like 10 minutes and do a whole little acrobatic dancey dance.
There's 2 levels to this bar. It's closed or packed.
Yes.
Like crazy packed every hour of the day. And it's also like a little bit of an Applebee's. There's like wait staff and like everybody's wearing like outfits. There's like something going on where it's like it feels like a combination of a bar.
Yeah.
It's not like a regular bar.
It does feel like Applebee's / Fridays coded because the waitresses are wearing striped red shirts, vertical stripes.
Right. So there's table service too in this bar. But yeah, they're juggling a lot of stuff is spilling around. You see that he's juggling stuff, and they're just having a 2-person show behind the bar.
And he's having a really hard time at school, which is understandable because he's out so late at night that he's super, super sleepy during the day. And his teacher's an asshole. He's just a mean kind of guy. So he's like, this school thing is really not working out. And Doug's like, yeah, those phonies don't know anything about the world. And now that you know that, you're ready to be out of there anyway. And Brian's like, I guess so, man. And then one night they're doing their elaborate dancey dance behind the bar, and this guy runs up to the bar and he's like, you guys are so amazing. You need to work for me instead. I'll make you stars.
I get so confused by this because they take the job. He's like, you got to work at my club now. This older guy, the O'Doughlin, what's his name? He's got a Coughlin. Because he has
Coughlin.
Yeah, because he has Coughlin's laws.
Yes.
Every once in a while he'll say Coughlin's law, and then he'll say something that doesn't make sense.
A little, yes. Almost none of the dialogue in this movie makes sense.
No. But I was like, isn't Coughlin the owner of this place? I thought he owned the bar.
No, I don't think so. I think he just worked there.
But he hired Tom Cruise?
I guess he's like a manager.
They quit immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, they have no one to work the bar now. They only had 2 bartenders.
That is true. There's no other bartenders at that place that we've seen so far. But I guess it's a big opportunity to become stars. And this really seems like it takes place in an alternate reality where bartenders are the equivalent of boy band members or rock stars. Make you a star? What are you talking about?
I don't know. Do you know any famous bartenders?
No.
Yeah, I don't.
And I don't think you were a famous bartender in the 80s either.
I don't. There's no like all-star bartender from the 80s that people.
Yeah, and they keep saying like he has talent, as if he's like a rock star.
Right.
And I'm not saying bartending isn't a hard job. Like, it is a hard job. There's a lot that you have to remember. So I do think it takes a lot of skill. They act as if watching him bartend is like this artistic, religious experience.
Yeah, right. There's certainly no fame involved.
No.
And they go from, the job they have there looks pretty good.
Yes.
Looks pretty busy at that bar.
Yeah, it looks like they're making a lot of money.
Yeah, when they go to the new bar, I know it's supposed to be bigger, but it also seems like a little bit smaller in a sense.
It was smaller on the first level, but it's one of those bars that I've never been to in real life, but I've seen in movies a lot, that has a ton of different levels to it. Mm-hmm. It's almost like an amphitheater. Again, they're the only two bartenders.
They only have two people.
I was thinking, there's like 1,000 people in this club, and they're supposed to be serving them all, and they're spending so much time not bartending.
Right, when they go to that new bar. Is that where the poet shows up?
Yeah, this guy gets up and he's like, I'm the first yuppie poet, or like the last yuppie poet or the first yuppie poet. I forget what he said.
Yeah, it was either first or last.
First or last.
Did I write it
And
down?
he gives a really like cringy poem, and everybody's like, yeah. And then Tom Cruise jumps up on the bar and he's like, I'm the last of the bartender poets. And everyone's like, whoa, a bartender poet. He just like lists a bunch of drinks that people can get. And when he gets to sex on the beach, everyone's like, sex, we're here to do that. And then he ends it with, but if you want to get really drunk, you can get a shot. And everyone's like, we can get a shot.
Isn't this like kind of out of line for like you hired a bartender for this place and he takes the person of honor or whoever that person was? They were like really trying to sell the yuppie poet. And then he hops onto the bar and steals the show. And like
he steals the show and then encourages everyone to buy the less expensive drinks.
Yeah. Yes.
Just buy a shot.
And makes them all rhyme on the spot.
Yeah.
He's like, da 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 da. I can't make him rhyme right now.
See,
But
I assumed that he came up with this in advance, that they told him, like, at this bar we do poetry. You know how sometimes there's themed bars in New York that are like, and the waitstaff sings Broadway tunes.
Interesting.
I thought it was that kind of a deal, but with poetry. It didn't seem like that was something his character would be interested in.
No.
He's trying to be like a big businessman. He's not really trying to be an artist or anything like that.
See, that would have been more interesting if he was like trying to be a poet, and that's like, oh, look, this person's a genius. Yeah, wow, he makes up these poems like on the spot, because he does have a poem later on. Spoiler. There's a poem at the end of this.
It ends on a poem.
So I mean, he does have a knack for making up poems.
Yes. Well, within this reality, he has a knack for making up poems. The poems are not good.
No, they're not. You wouldn't buy a book of this.
No.
Yeah.
Just lists of drinks.
It's the menu.
You're reading this book of poetry at home, and you're like, yeah,
yeah, take a shot.
I like drinking at bars.
Yeah.
So then his performance does attract the interest of this woman named Coral, who's a fancy photographer.
Oh yeah, Gina Gershon. And she's like, hey, I like you. So they go back to her fancy apartment and hook up in a scene that, if not for the subtitles, I would have thought was an assault. Yeah.
Because she's like screaming, and in parentheses in the subtitles it says laughing. It didn't sound like laughing. Did you have that reaction, or?
I felt like this is like a non-sex sex scene that is very famous in Tom Cruise movies, where people are not acting in a sexual way, but it's supposed to be sex. And in this one, it's like there's rustling in
so they're undercovers.
They're undercovers.
We can't see anything, but we hear like this animalistic scream that to me sounded like danger.
I didn't hear that, but I saw his head poking out from the bottom.
Yes.
Taking a swill of something.
Yeah, that happens in the beginning of the scene.
Oh, that happens in
and then she drags him back under the covers.
Yeah.
And then we hear like screaming that sounds unpleasant to me, to my ears. It did.
What I saw was this is now looking like a fight.
Yes.
It looks like a fight, but like that's how when I watched it, it just reminds me of every Tom Cruise sex scene I've ever seen, where it like turns into like a play fight or wrestling or something weird.
Yeah, and that happens. We'll get to it later, but there's another scene that's supposed to be romantic that's like a disturbing smackdown.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's like every scene is like something. It's a weird aggression.
Yeah. It seemed like they were more like wrestlers.
Yes,
than like romance partners.
It turned into like a wrestling fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So he tells Doug that he's really into this girl, Coral, and Doug's like, she's probably married. She's probably not really interested in you. And he's like, no, man, she likes me. She said she's going to come back to the bar tomorrow and see me. And then she goes back to the bar and makes out with Doug.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I did this to teach you a lesson about not trusting women. And I don't understand the lesson that he was trying to teach.
Yeah.
And I don't understand her motivation either, because when he confronts her about it, she's like, well, you shouldn't have told him about our sex life. And it's like, well, what did he say?
Well, and there is one scene in between those two where he's pitching him.
Oh, yeah.
The idea of Jamaica, of starting a bar in Jamaica, the two of them.
Yeah.
She's there. It's pretty obvious like they're sitting with each other on the same chair. They're dating.
Yes.
So it's not like a secret that they're dating.
No.
So I don't know what that meant, like where she's like, you shouldn't have told him about us. It's like, I thought, and she also made some reference where she was like, she wanted to be like together.
Yes.
So it didn't seem like it was a secret.
No, it wasn't a secret. That made me think that she thought he said some sort of very intimate, inappropriate detail, but they didn't even show us anything that could be embarrassing to relay to another person. So I just really didn't understand what was going on with that. Yeah.
The other part of that scene with where he's trying to pitch the bar idea. This is one of my major problems with the movie is that it's based around this idea of starting a bar, and the bar is called Cocktails and Dreams. And the movie's called Cocktail. That could be a bar name.
Yes. I was waiting for Cocktail to become the bar name, but for the rest of it, his dream bar is Cocktails and Dreams. And I'm like, what about Cocktail?
Yeah, his last name is O'Flanagan. That could be a bar name.
Yes.
His name is Coughlin. That could be a bar name. There's like so many, maybe Dreams could be a bar name, but Cocktails and Dreams just sounds so exhausting as a name for a bar.
It does.
I think this movie has an issue with it needs things to happen.
Yes.
So it just makes things happen.
And in the scene where Coral and Brian are talking to Doug about their bar idea in Jamaica, it's implied that she's going to give them money for it. And then Doug screws it up for all of them for no apparent reason.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. And then that becomes a fist fight.
Yes. Also, like, weird that he would make out with her in front of him at work.
Yes.
And then he beats up Doug. Doug's like, you're fired. And he's like, yes, I am fired.
Again, confusing as to who runs this place, who's the boss.
Yeah, because the guy recruited both of them together. So presumably Doug is no longer the boss.
Yeah. And he punched him, like, into the bar, like, smashing property. Like, he really
They're
clobbered
both
him.
fired.
They should both be fired. Then Coughlin takes a broken bottle and tries to stab Tom Cruise, and Cruise is like, do it, do it,
kill me.
And I'm like, what is wrong
the way
with this guy?
that Tom Cruise / Brian in this movie is constantly going from 0 to so angry it seems like he's gonna murder somebody is like frequent, and it's kind of scary.
This character is like insane.
Yes.
There's something wrong with him.
Yeah, for sure. He's extremely unpleasant.
Yeah, very volatile. Like says things that if someone said to you, you'd be like, this person's kind of crazy.
I wasn't rooting for him at all. And I think that's a big part of the movie is we're supposed to be like, oh, this poor guy, he's always trying his best and he keeps getting knocked down. But to me, he was a very violent, inappropriate, unprofessional kind of person, and I didn't want to see this guy get any more power.
And he doesn't have a very noble goal. His goal is to make $1 million. He doesn't even have an idea really how to make $1 million.
Yeah.
And then he just has a bar, but the bar is just a bar.
There's no one that he wants to support. He's not passionate about anything besides making the $1 million. It's just money for the sake of money.
If he had an idea where it's like, this business is terrible to servers and to bartenders, I'm going to create a bar that's really good to bartenders or something like that. Like, but his vision is just another bar.
Yes. Yeah, he really has no vision. And then before he quits business school, they have this project where they have to come up with a business plan. And what he comes up with is just a standard bar, but it's a franchise that can be in malls.
Oh, right. That's what it was.
And it's like, what's different about this? There's already like a ton of bar dinner franchises.
Yeah.
And the way that he makes it sound is that it's like a dive bar.
Right.
And there's already dive bars all over. So what are you doing that's different here? And he has no response.
Right. And then he just attacks the professor when
he
questions him.
And he's like, you're an idiot and I hate you and you're bad. You're a bad man who can't do anything in the real world and that's why you teach. And everyone's like, yeah.
Everybody's on board for that.
Yeah. Because the guy who's the professor does seem mean and annoying. But Brian's idea also is bad.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Yeah, he hasn't thought of anything that makes it special. He hasn't identified a market that's not being served. He hasn't done like any of the basic business plan kind of things.
Right.
He's just expecting to get it like handed to him.
He wants that $1 million.
Yeah, he wants the $1 million. So Brian decides that he's going to go to Jamaica on his own. And he gets a job at a local bar. One of his first days on the bar, a pretty lady named Jordan comes up to the bar and she's like, excuse me, do you have a phone? I think my friend is dying on the beach.
Oh, yes.
And he's like, wait 1 second. And he jumps over the bar and runs down the beach as if he can do anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any medical training. And I was like, wait, they really don't have a phone behind the bar? It would be better if he could call
911, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess they didn't.
Yeah.
So he runs down the beach. The girl just has been in the sun too long and has a bit too much to drink. So it turns out she's fine. And he really hits it off with Jordan, the girl who tried to like help her friend. They go back to the bar. They hang out for a little bit. Doug shows up. He's just like, here I am. And Brian's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
And Doug's like, I know what you're up to. I bet you have a business book behind the bar. And he's like, you caught me. I got a business book behind the bar. And he holds up this book. It's something generic, like 1,000 Ways to Be an Effective Gentleman.
Yeah.
And then he's like touching Jordan in a weird way.
Yeah.
And Brian's like, stop molesting the customers. But he doesn't even sound genuinely upset about it. He's just kind of saying it offhandedly.
Yeah.
The dialogue in this movie is so strange. I wrote down a quote from this scene that I thought was especially strange. Because for a while, they're just throwing insults back and forth at each other.
Yes.
And Doug goes to Brian, quote, you look like a guy who gets an erection on his birthday if the wind blows right.
I wrote that too. I wrote that down too.
What
that
does
was
that
crazy.
mean?
Yeah. I had no idea what that means.
Yeah.
Meaning you're so turned on by your own birthday and the wind has to hit you the right way.
Yeah.
Like, is that, like, I'm trying to think, is that an egomaniac or something?
I kind of get the idea that, like, oh, you're so like sexually inexperienced, a wind tickle is gonna give you
Oh,
a woody.
interesting.
But why
Okay.
on your birthday?
Oh, I saw it as like, oh, you're so obsessed with yourself, you get an
like, it's
erection.
my
It's my birthday. I'm so turned
All I
on.
need is a wind, and,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go off.
Right. Yeah, it's like a combination, like calling him inexperienced and obsessed with himself or something.
Yeah. And Tom Cruise's dialogue is like incredibly cringy throughout this whole movie, but especially in this scene. She's like, wow, you're a good bartender. And Doug's like, he is incredibly talented as a bartender. And Brian's like, yeah, I'm actually a different species called Bartenders Drinkonus or something
God.
like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so bad. And she's like, ha. And you can tell in the shot that the actress is having a really hard time pretending to laugh at this dialogue.
Yes.
She's like, ha. And then they cut to this really hot woman on the beach, Bonnie. And Doug's like, yeah, that's my fiance. I mean, his wife. He's like, we're here on a honeymoon, and she's super rich. And that's why I married her, because she's hot and rich, and I get everything for free. And he just says that out loud to Brian, who currently is still his enemy. They haven't made up yet.
Right.
And this woman, Jordan, who he does not know.
Right.
So he's just going around telling anyone and everyone that he's using this woman for money.
This is one of the great mysteries of the movie, is how did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
Why is this happening? And yeah, he's just like blatantly saying to everyone that this is like, you know, he's
he's like, I'm a scammer
yeah.
and an exploiter.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone's just nodding, like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This scene is also weird because the Tom Cruise and the other guy, they go back and forth for what seems like 2 or 3 minutes with inside jokes and stuff like that. And Elizabeth Shue is just sitting there.
Yes.
Like just going, just listening.
Yeah, she's like, what's the deal with these guys?
I felt like that's very relatable to me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt seen in that scene by her, where I'm often
But
the
that's
third
not what they were
person.
trying to show.
I know, but I was like, I understand that feeling where like two people are having a conversation and I'm not included, and I'm just going like this, like to both of them just whenever someone talks.
It would have been funnier if they kept the camera on her face the
That
whole
would've been
time,
great.
and she's just like looking more and more uncomfortable.
Yeah, at a certain point she's like, what is this? Like
Yeah.
she just met this guy, and now she's like getting all this information about the two of them,
Yes.
their relationship and all this stuff.
Yeah. And then there's a montage where Jordan and Brian go on this super romantic romp. But as we alluded to earlier, one of the first scenes in the montage is they're on the beach and it seems like they're having a nice time. And then they just kind of start like wrestling in a really intense way, in a way that doesn't feel like a play wrestle that you would do. And then at the end of it, she does this move where she like wraps her leg around one of his legs and pulls it. So he goes from standing to slamming down on the
Yes.
beach, and he seems genuinely really hurt.
You hear a thud that's
Yeah.
like someone broke something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're just like, hee.
I'm like, this looks too intense for what's supposed to be flirty, like play fighting or something.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they have sex under a waterfall, and then they go and like have food, and he's like, I want to make $1 million. And she's like, that's interesting. I'm a waitress in New York at this place. And he's like, oh, that's the place with the hard croissants. And she's like, yeah, really hard croissants. And then he's like, you know, there's so many ways to make $1 million. And he points to everything around them, like the little umbrella in the drinks or the little weird thing on sneakers. And he's like, somebody made that. Somebody made that. Somebody made this ashtray. And he's assuming that every one of these products, millionaires.
They're a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody's just doing okay
No.
if they've got a good on the table.
Right.
Yeah.
And he keeps like pointing at things like everything already exists.
Yeah,
It's
and he's like, why didn't I think of these ideas when they didn't exist?
She does something that I thought was funny, and I thought she was kind of trolling him, where she's like, what about this ashtray?
Yeah.
What about this table?
No, but he's legitimately like, yeah, what about the ashtray business? But then he doesn't look into any of those.
No, but you need an idea.
Mm-hmm.
They had an idea.
No,
you don't.
he doesn't brainstorm any ideas.
Yeah.
He doesn't think about like, okay, what's something that people could use?
Yeah.
He puts in so little effort, but we're supposed to be like, yeah, why can't he get $1 million?
If this was made today, this would be like a crypto bro.
Yes.
Like somebody like trying to follow the crypto market. And it's like, this is my ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be a millionaire if I just listen to these people on YouTube or something.
Yeah, they definitely be like red pilled on YouTube.
Yes, completely.
So
I wrote down one line though. When they're going to the dance clubs, the four of them, they go into a place where people are just going like this. They're going.
Yeah, just bopping a little bit if you're watching the non-video version of this podcast.
Yeah, they're just going left and right. Jordan goes, I've never seen a bar with this intense dance vibes.
Yes, I thought that was weird too. I almost wrote that down and then I forgot. Yeah, they are like pretty much barely moving. And she's
dancing.
like, oh my God.
She's blown away.
Yeah, she's like, did you know people can dance in a bar? It's not all about standing around watching the bartenders do bottle tricks.
Right. No.
You can move your own body.
Yeah, absolutely. Left to right, right to left.
Up and down, bouncy. Yeah. So then it cuts to Brian's back at work at the bar, and Doug is sitting there because he has nothing else to do.
This guy does nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's not with his wife, even though it is their honeymoon.
Right.
He's with a bunch of random dudes who happen to also be there. Doug is like, Brian, you're just not going to make $1 million because look at you. You have pride in being a bartender. You keep the bar clean and you're good at making drinks. You're talented. I was like, why would that mean he's not going to be successful at anything else? That doesn't make any sense.
He's just taking the job seriously.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, you taking this job seriously means you're not a hustler, which I very much disagree with because I think any job can lead to another job. So you don't want to burn bridges and be bad at your job just because it's not your ultimate job.
No, yeah. I mean, that's, one of the things they say is, treat every job well.
And he also is not going above and beyond. He's like, your bar is clean and you're making drinks well. And isn't that sort of the minimum to be working at a nice resort? Mm-hmm. Could he leave the bar in complete disarray? Probably not, right?
Yeah, I don't know. And
He's just wiping down the counter. He's not like polishing all these tiny little crevices.
No. And I also don't know if the drinks are good.
No.
Nobody's ever going like, this tastes great.
No, because he never makes an original drink. Yeah.
That would have been a good addition. Mm-hmm. He's like, this guy makes his own concoctions. It's,
Yeah, and Doug is always like, you're so talented. And I'm like, at what?
Even when he's flipping the bottles around.
There's it's not skills that are that crazy.
The drinks are going all over the place. Like so he's wasting money for the bar because the alcohol is like spilling on the floor and stuff and
yeah, and he's never like explaining the drinks in a really interesting way.
Right.
Or being a salesman by like encouraging people to get more. He's pretty much doing the minimum of the job description. And Doug is like, yeah.
You're incredible.
I've never seen talent like this before. And it's like, who else have you seen working?
The other part is that whatever he is doing, Cruz, it's the exact same thing that the other guy was doing, Coughlin. So, I mean, there is somebody who does this just as good. It's him.
Yes.
They did the same thing.
Yes. So then Doug goes, I know that you're not a hustler because you picked the poor girl to do it with. And instead of like me, I'm a smart man, so I got myself a rich woman. You couldn't even get a rich woman because you're a loser. And Brian's like, I'm not a loser. I could totally get a rich woman if I wanted a rich woman. And then this older woman in a fancy kind of outfit struts up to the bar. Doug is like, oh yeah? Well, I bet you $50 you couldn't get it on with that lady who's definitely rich, because I definitely know just from looking at her. And because she's old. She's not that old, but she's older than them. So Brian goes over there, flirts in a really weird way.
So weird.
Yeah, because she orders a drink, and he's like, how about this other drink that we have? And she goes, do I have fuck me written on my forehead? And I was like, whoa, that's aggressive.
Yeah.
It is a little weird that he was like, you don't want to drink that, you want to drink this other thing. But that seemed to be like kind of an extreme response.
Right.
He's like, aw, she didn't like my idea of flirting. So he goes back with his tail between his legs, and Doug's like, see, I told you, you're not a real hustler. Real hustlers scam ladies. And Brian's like, well, it's not over yet. I'm going to do it better this time. So then they're sitting not that far away from each other.
Yeah.
You should be a little bit aware that she might be able to hear what you're saying right now.
And they're talking so loud.
They're talking really loudly about how he's trying to scam her by getting in her pants. Mm-hmm. So he goes back over there. This time he finds a way to charm her. They go back to her room. And unfortunately, right when they're walking back to the room, Jordan comes up to the bar. She sees them go off together, knows what's happening because she's a smart girl. She gets a flight home. She leaves. So the next day, Brian goes to find Jordan, and her friends are like, she left because you were mean to her, and she was not happy. And he's like, aw, I didn't mean anything by it. I didn't mean to be mean. And they're like, you are mean, and we don't like you. And then the rich lady, she finds him and is like, I can't stop thinking about you. I'm obsessed with you. You're incredible. You're the most amazing person I've ever seen in my life. And she's like, come back to New York with me and be my kept man. And he's like, could you get me a job in sales? And she's like, I could even help you get a job in sales.
He's like, all right.
Yeah. He's like, dang, this is going to be cool. And it's kind of like, if you could do... So they make it seem like she like owns this big business. Mm-hmm. If you could do any job, why would you pick sales?
Oh, like what he wants to do?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I don't know. He doesn't really have a goal.
That's partially why it's so hard to like this character, is he just doesn't really have any interests other than $1 million.
When he talks to her and he's like, when are you going to introduce me to your friends? I have a lot of ideas. I'm like, what are they?
Yeah, we never hear him say any good business ideas.
Yeah.
But he claims that he has all these good business ideas.
And he's like, put me in the room. I want to talk to them. And I'm like, I can't really blame her for
no,
not
me
wanting
neither.
this
Me
guy
neither.
in
Yeah,
the room.
they get to New York. Yeah. And he's immediately disillusioned because she does aerobics early in the morning. He wakes up and she's like doing jazzercise. And she's like, hey, honey, get me some carrot juice and get yourself carrot juice too from the fridge. And he's like, oh, this is the hardest kept man situation ever. I hate it. And I'm like, this really doesn't seem like that hard.
No.
For you living rent-free in a super fancy place and potentially getting all these connections, and you have sex with a beautiful woman, this like really doesn't seem like that bad of a situation for you.
No.
But for someone who's supposedly extremely ambitious, he can't handle the slightest inconveniences.
Yes.
He's so upset about having to walk to the refrigerator and get carrot juice.
I know, yeah. He can't handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's so upset that she's waking up in the morning.
He's like, every day with this.
Yeah. And it's like,
what?
Who cares? Like, okay, it's morning. It's time to get up.
Yeah.
When you get a fancy job, you got to get up.
Yeah. At this point, I don't think he's bartending anymore, so now he's just doing nothing.
No, exactly. She's going to work all day and he's just hanging out. Yeah. It's like, okay, you can get up and get her carrot juice and then go back to sleep. She's on her way to the office. She's changing and she's going out. And then when she goes to change, he's like, can't you introduce me to the big businessmen? Because I want to be like the big businessmen. And she's like, it's not quite the right time.
Yeah.
I can't just bring my boyfriend in totally, you know, when the time is not right, which this actually kind of did make sense to me too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's right.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, what about all my ideas? And he doesn't say any of the ideas. And then he's like, I want to be a big salesman.
Yeah.
And she's like, in 6 months, you can be a big salesman. And
which
I was
actually
thinking,
that's not bad.
Yeah, actually, that's not that bad of a timeline.
Right.
For all you have to do in between is hang out.
And then draft up your ideas in those 6 months. Like, you can work from that apartment and do some work. Yeah.
He could even, now that he has all this free time, finish school during the day. But that doesn't even cross his mind.
No.
Then he goes to this like gallery show with her.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a sculptor who's making really bad art who is being kind of rude to him. You can tell he is kind of talking down to him because he's like the kept man. But Brian's reaction to this is so much bigger than it needs to be. He's just like, you're ugly and your art is horrible and I hate you. And the guy's like, whoa. And then he punches the sculptor in the face like really hard.
Yes.
And he falls to the ground. He just like beats the shit out of the sculptor.
You can't do that.
No, you can't act like that.
No.
Just because someone's rude to you, you can't assault them.
No. But he's crazy.
Yeah. And then he runs outside and crouches on the street.
Yeah.
And is like, ah. and the rich woman walks outside and is like, honey, like, please calm down. And he's like, I don't want to calm down. He was mean to me. Did you see what he said to me? And he was ugly, and I don't like that. And I'm a sexy man. And she's like, oh, like, I'm sorry. Like, let's just make this work. And he's like, no, we have to break up. And she's like, I really don't want to break up like this. Like, you're laying on the street, and it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're over. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
So he really got off pretty easy on that. And
he also mentioned, I moved my stuff out this morning. Mm-hmm. Why'd you go to the sculptor exhibit? What?
Yes.
You like moved out and then you went to the sculptor exhibit?
And also, why did it trigger you so much if you weren't going to stay in the relationship anyway?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. When he's crouched on the ground, he's like, I went earlier and I took my things out because I wasn't even going to, I don't even like you. And she's like, okay. And in her head, she's probably like, I'm so glad I didn't introduce this guy to my business partners.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, she dodged a bullet there.
Oh, yeah.
And he's so rude to her when she has done nothing.
Yes.
Anything to him, yeah.
Yeah, she's given him a lot of shit and he just expects so much.
Yeah.
He never even liked her that much. He was just using her.
Yes.
And he doesn't feel guilty about that at all.
No.
No. So then he decides, you know, I gotta get Jordan back. So he shows up at the restaurant that she works at. She doesn't want to talk to him. And he goes, I'm not going to leave until you talk to me. He does a lot of things that are low-key, like, abusive coded.
Oh, my God. I mean, like, she's telling him to leave.
She explicitly says, I don't want you to be here. And he goes, I don't care.
I'm not leaving.
I'm going to be here. So he refuses to leave, even though she's clearly very busy. So he's also messing up her job, which that was kind of stressing me out.
Yeah.
And then he's like demanding stuff, so she pours food on him, which is a little extreme. But again, he wouldn't leave.
He wasn't going to leave.
He wasn't going to leave. And then we have one of those cuts where his hair and clothing are immaculate after getting all this food poured on him, he's outside, and she's outside, and he's like, come on, like. Oh wait!
First, he imitates a blind man on the street.
Oh,
I was
blind homeless man.
God,
yeah,
what are you doing?
He pretends. So yeah, so we cut to he's outside. His hair and clothes are immaculate, except he somehow has like blackout sunglasses, and he's pretending to be a blind homeless man.
Ugh.
And he's putting his arms out, and he's like, do you have change? And she's like, haha. Jokes were different then.
They were different then. But I like how he thought that was going to charm her back.
Yeah, she's going to be like, oh, look at him.
Yeah.
Like, he's making fun of blind homeless people.
Mm-hmm. Not good.
Not good. So he kind of follows her home.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah. And they get into a big argument. He's like, listen, I can explain the whole situation. It's not what it looked like. And she's like, okay. So what did it look like? And he's like, I didn't even actually like the other woman. It's just that I was having sex with her to scam her out of her money.
This is
and
incredible.
She's like, what? You were having sex with her to scam her out of her money? That's really messed up. And then he goes, no, wait, it's not like what you think. My friend bet that like I couldn't do it because I'm not a hustler, and I am a hustler. And she's like, you bet someone that you could scam this woman? And he's like, oh no, okay, it is better than that. It was a bet. He bet me that I couldn't be a hustler $50. And when a man bets you, you have to accept it, or else your masculinity just completely disappears from your body and you become a woman. And rightfully so, that doesn't win her over.
This was incredible to watch him with every single line. It gets worse and worse.
Yes.
And it's not played for comedy.
No.
He's really, it's like,
no.
I hustled her into bed for money. What are you
for
doing?
$50.
I had to prove I was a man.
It's so much worse than if you were like, oh, we're not officially in a relationship. She's just on vacation. Like, this other person's attractive and I hooked up with them. That would be so much better than what actually happened, which he explains.
Yes.
No, you don't understand. I'm a really bad guy. I'm so much worse than you think.
Yeah, but I'm different now. He says that, but it's like, this just ended yesterday.
And it didn't end because he had an epiphany about being a better guy.
Yeah, he found out the hustle didn't benefit him enough, so he left the situation.
Yeah. Even though it was benefiting him quite a bit, it wasn't enough to his liking.
He's like, no, but I learned my lesson. She didn't introduce me to her friends.
He was like, I didn't get any business partnerships out of it, even though I have really good ideas, I swear.
I didn't make my $1 million. I learned my lesson now.
Yeah, I'm a changed guy. What's my goal? Still to make $1 million, just in a different way, not hustling women. And then she goes, I'm pregnant. And he's like, ugh.
This also like drove me crazy, where he's like, I'll never make that mistake again with you. And then she goes, I'm gonna scare you again. I'm pregnant. And he's like, okay, I'm scared. It's like, you're screwing up again after you just after you just said you're never going to screw up again.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to be so loyal to you. I will forever, no matter what happens. And she goes, I'm pregnant. And he's like, ew. I don't want that. So she's still mad, of course. And he's like, what, are you going to raise a baby on your own? And she's like, yes, I'm going to raise a baby on my own. So he leaves. Soon after, he goes back to the apartment. He's banging on the door for a long time. Finally, the neighbor comes out and is like, she's not answering. She's not there. She went to her parents' house. And he goes, okay, where's her parents' house? And she goes, 64th and Park Avenue. And he goes, Park Avenue?
She's rich.
She's rich. I love money.
Dollar signs start rolling down his
he's
eyes.
like, awooga.
Starts running faster than anything.
And then he goes to her parents' house. The doorman doesn't want to let him in. So he waits till the elevator is about to open, and he runs past him and runs into the elevator and closes it and goes up.
Yeah.
And then
you hear the doorman go, wait.
Yeah, he's like, hey. So he goes up to the penthouse. It's like this gorgeous, humongous place. Her dad comes out and is like, hey, I heard a lot about you, stuff that I don't like. And Brian's like, well, I am actually good. And her dad goes, here's a check for $10,000 to go away forever.
He's like, 10,000? I wanted 1 million.
Yeah. He's like, well, you don't know me at all if you think 10,000. He's like, $10,000 is all your daughter's worth?
Now, this is the thing that like drives me nuts about the script, is that he's been talking about $1 million for the whole movie. If you gave him a check for $1 million, you'd actually be testing him.
Yeah, his character development.
Yeah, you'd give him a test, like, would he pick the $1 million or her?
Even $75K, because he said earlier that $75K is what he needed to open a bar.
Right, yeah.
So that would also like tempt him to be like, oh, this is the down payment for my new business that I want to open.
Right.
But $10K is like, while that is a huge sum of money to just be given, it doesn't have plot stakes, like stakes for the plot, like you were saying.
No, and 10,000. If someone gave me 10,000, that would be a big deal for me. But in the world that they're existing
wouldn't be
in,
okay forever.
It's not life-changing
Yes.
money where it's like, okay, I'm gonna start my whole new life now with this 10 grand or something like that. So it was like kind of low for the father to like give that amount. Like he thought $10,000 was like, here it is. Like that was.
Well, I don't know. The whole trope about like, leave my daughter alone for money. I guess people might really do that, but it just seems odd to give people money at all. To just be like, go away.
I think it's a movie thing. And,
Yeah.
And I don't know what they were trying to do because it didn't really add any stakes to it. But
yeah. Well, she comes into the room and he's like, look, I have changed. I'm ripping up this $10,000 check that I didn't rip up in the few minutes that you weren't in the room.
Right. Just to show you how much you mean to me.
Yeah, he's like, so you see, like, I have changed. And she's like, after he rips up the check, he goes to this bar that Doug now owns because of the rich lady. Because of the rich lady, they've apparently bought all these properties. And he's like, all right, Doug, you were right. I failed, and I want a job from you. And it's also like, okay, why doesn't he get a job anywhere else? Doug is bad news. Doug sucks.
Get another bartending job.
Yeah. And Doug's rich wife is going around kissing everyone on the mouth, which I thought was very strange, and I didn't understand why she was doing that.
And Coughlin's like, this is my life now.
Yeah, and Doug's just like, I'm a cuck. What can I say?
Coughlin's Law.
Yeah.
I'm a cuck.
Yeah. And then they go to a nearby boat. And they
He's
sit
like,
there.
look, I bought a boat.
Yeah. Doug's like, I got a boat. And Brian's like, man, you were right. I didn't hustle correctly. But now I'm ready to learn how to hustle from you. And Doug's like, actually, it turns out that I suck because I got so much money from this rich lady. And I spent it all doing commodities trading, which is the 80s equivalent of like
crypto.
Yeah, crypto or like day trade. Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, he's like, she doesn't know yet, but we have nothing to our names. I am really screwed. And Brian's like, oh. Okay.
She comes downstairs and she's like, is everything okay? And he's like, yep.
Yep. So then
we're still rich.
She's like, Brian, can you take me home? And he's like, okay. So he drives her home. She's like, will you come upstairs? And he's like, okay. And then she makes a move on him and he's like, no, I'm not like that. I believe in guy code. So I would never do my friend's lady. And she's like, you're just scared. And he's like, no, I just don't want to. And she's like, you're scared. And he's
I thought this was going to work on him.
Because he's so fragile.
He's like always proving his masculinity all the time.
Yeah. And he's like, bye-bye. So then he goes back to the boat and Doug has killed himself. He slit his throat with the bottle that he was drinking, there's glass and blood everywhere. That was like a pretty intense sight.
Yeah. And Tom Cruise goes, "Help me!"
He's like, ah!
And you can hear him from outside the boat. "Somebody help me!"
Yeah. And I really thought there was going to be a police investigation where he was implicated.
I thought so too.
Because he goes in and like touches stuff. So his
yes.
DNA is all over. The way that Doug's body was, it wasn't initially immediately clear to me that it was definitely a suicide. I thought there was a chance that it could have been foul play.
You know what? And still, I don't think that's totally out of the question. Well, later, there's some proof that it wasn't.
Yeah, later it's like there was a note, but especially if he owes money to a ton of people, or like he's doing a lot of shady things.
Totally.
It's not crazy. And the way that he did it was kind of strange, too.
Yeah, it didn't... Yeah.
But there is no investigation. It's an open and shut type situation.
No, the cop like says something to Cruise like, "Do you know anything about this?"
And he's like, "Nope." And there's like, "That's all I need to hear."
Open and shut case.
Open and shut case.
Yeah.
Put him in the ground, folks.
Yeah. So they just end that, and then he goes back to his apartment. Is that when the note comes? That's when.
I think so. Then he goes back to his apartment. The rich lady's like, "Here's a note that he left you," and the note was one of the least touching movie notes that I've ever heard.
It was like, "Guess you know I'm full of crap.
Yeah.
Cognin's law. Don't listen to Cognin."
Yeah. He's like, "Nothing I said meant anything.
Yeah.
But I love you and you're my friend."
At one point, he goes, "Ha ha ha."
Yeah.
And I thought when they cut back to the note, it was going to write out, "Ha ha ha." And then when Tom Cruise reads the notes, he gets a little teary-eyed. Mm-hmm. He looks to the...
This is so funny.
Oh, my God. He looks to the wall, and there's his version of a blueprint for that just says "cocktails and dreams," and it's a stick figure.
No, yeah, there's a circle with like a stick figure standing on it. That's like one of the worst drawings I've ever seen. And he's like, "Oh, our dream. We were so smart together."
What is that a picture of?
Oh no!
It's just a person standing on a
It's
globe?
like a short, fat person standing on the moon. It has nothing to do with cocktails or dreams.
It's not even a picture of a bar.
No. Yeah, that part made me laugh out loud too. And it's supposed to be this really somber moment where he's like, "Oh man, I remember my friend Doug and I strategizing about cocktails and dreams."
We needed a scene where he actually gets into the room with the rich woman's associates, and he has that cocktail there, and he's
shows
like,
it to them.
"Check this out."
It's a bar, but in malls.
This could be you. He points to the stick figure. Look how happy he is.
Yeah. So then he's like, "I gotta get my lady." And also the whole movie, he's been very clear that he doesn't want kids. And now he's like, "You know what? I'll take a kid. I need something.
I won't screw up again."
Yeah. So he goes back to her apartment. He breaks in past the security.
Yeah. Again, yeah.
And he locks her in a room and is like, "Listen to me. I have stuff to say." And she's like, "I don't really want to hear what you have to say." And he's like, "I don't care. My feelings are so important." And then she's like, "Okay." And he goes, "I want to be a daddy, actually, and I will marry you. And I'm sorry that I lied to you, but you lied to me too, because you didn't tell me you were the original rich chick," which I thought was such an insane thing to say, because one, money never came up. So she didn't lie.
No.
She said, like, "I work at a restaurant," which is true.
That is true.
And she's like, "Well, I wanted you to like me for me, not for my money." He was scamming people out of their money.
Yeah, he was doing
so
that.
So that was legitimately a good thing that she did.
This reminds me, because like he's locking her in a room and saying like, "Hey," and then he starts like blaming her.
Yeah.
And he does this earlier. I forgot about this part. Earlier, he's like, let me explain myself. You were moving too fast.
Yeah. He said you were moving too fast, which doesn't make any sense because, like, the first time that they hook up, she's basically says something along the lines of, are you sure this is okay? Like, she's worried about being slut shamed for doing a one night stand. And he's like, oh yeah, it's definitely okay. It's like really awesome actually. And then later on he's like, you move too fast.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
You were scaring me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so she finally gives you a chance to explain yourself, and you're just going to blame her. And
you're making something up out of thin air. You weren't scared. You accepted a bet for $50 to take advantage of another woman.
Yes.
Like, you were afraid of not looking cool in front of your friends.
Right, yeah. This one guy who is a terrible friend.
Yeah. Sorry, you're one friend and 4 random dudes who you've never met before and are just on vacation you'll probably never see again.
That's another thing that throughout the 2 years in Jamaica, he didn't make one friend.
No.
He waited for Coughlin to come back for his friend, for another friend.
Yeah, and there's no moment where it feels like they have a true reconnecting and making up.
No.
It's like Doug just keeps showing up at the bar, and eventually Brian's just like, all right, he's here. I guess we're friends again.
Yeah, and I thought, like, oh, Coughlin's, like, going to be a villain again, but they don't really play that angle. But I thought, like, he was doing this whole thing on purpose. Mm-hmm. I don't even know why. I don't know why he's trying to get at him so much, but they couldn't commit to him. Is he a friend or a villain or what?
I think he's supposed to be a friend, but he doesn't. He's a really bad friend.
He doesn't do anything friendly except for hiring him in the beginning.
Yes,
that's the only.
But that's not even friendly. That was just they needed to hire someone.
They needed a bartender.
Yeah.
That's it.
So she agrees to run away with him, and they open the door. The dad's like, "If you run away, you're not getting any money." And then the doormen run in, and he punches them in the head really, really hard. Brian's like, that's how I like it. I like being on my own.
So when the dad said that, he's talking to the daughter.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise like, that's the way I like. I'm like, he's not talking to you.
Yeah, like, what about her? Yeah.
And also, this dad is terrible.
Yes.
Like, why are you punishing her for this lunatic?
Yes.
Like, the Cruise is doing everything wrong, like.
And the dad also looked just like the professor at the beginning. So I got confused. I was like, wait, is this the professor's daughter? That'd be crazy.
That would have been a good twist.
It would have been funny. But anyway, so it cuts to he has opened his own bar because he got a small business loan that was co-signed from his uncle who owns a bar. And it's like, well, why didn't he do that to begin with? If he had that option this whole time, like, why is he doing all this other shit?
Why didn't he do that on day one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, work at a bar for a little bit to get like a sense of the business, and then take the loan and open your own bar. And the bar is wildly popular. People are loving it.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, everybody, I've got another poem. I don't even remember it. It was so unmemorable.
It was bad, yeah.
It went on for a long time, and everyone was like, yeah. Even though this is a new bar that he needs to make money because he needs to pay off this loan, he goes, you guys liked my poem so much? Well, drinks on me tonight. Everybody's drinking for free.
Yeah.
And his uncle's like, that's a bad business move.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? I'm a bar owner. I know you don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't give everybody free drinks.
Right.
And then Jordan runs up to him and is like, I'm going to surprise you again. And he's like, oh, you can't surprise me again. And she's like, I'm having twins. And he's like, I'm surprised again and I'm scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my head, when she said, I'm going to scare you again, I'm like, don't tell me this is going to be twins.
I immediately thought I immediately called that twist.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, you're going to end on this?
Yeah, it's just kind of sad because you know that this character would not rise to the occasion. He's a bad guy.
He's so not ready for anything.
No.
Yeah, he's like a complete mess. He needs to like really reform and like work on himself. I mean, he keeps like screwing up in big ways and then coming back and going, I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready to take this step.
Put me in, coach.
I'm so ready. I'm like, you're not ready, buddy.
Yeah. I was surprised to see online that a lot of people were defending him. A lot of
Really?
Yeah. A lot of dudes on Reddit were like, you know, it just shows how in a capitalist society, even if you're this talented, great guy, you don't always get what you want unless you align yourself with a rich person.
Oh my God.
And it's like, there could be an interesting movie about that, but this guy sucks.
Yes.
Like, he does not deserve, he's done nothing to deserve any kind of success.
No, and I thought
From the very beginning, he's like pulling a scheme. He's impersonating a cop.
Right, yeah.
To steal a bus ticket. Yeah.
There could have been an interesting movie about the service industry. Like, I feel like there's not a lot of movies like that where they talk about what's it like to be a bartender while you're, you know, trying to pursue something. But this guy is just an opportunistic jerk.
Yeah, I totally agree, because the person who wrote the book that this is based on said that like his book was a composite character of a bunch of different people who he met who got into bartending because they really thought they were going to do something else and then slowly realized that they couldn't. And I do think that's very interesting. But again, he had no real passion besides money.
No.
So it didn't really work. There also, I think, is an interesting movie in there about how the idea of being a kept man actually would suck.
Yeah.
Do you think it deserved the Razzie?
So I like that this punched up again because this was a huge financial success. It was the number 8 movie at the box office. And this is also a first and only. Tom Cruise starred in the worst movie of the year and the quote-unquote best movie, which was Rain Man. Rain Man won Best Picture at the Oscars. So he's the only actor to star in both.
Wow.
I had a fun time laughing at how insane this was and how it was just making left turn after left turn, where some of the movies we were watching, they're not fun to make fun of. They're just like really like,
yeah, at least this was coherent.
This was coherent. You can laugh at it. I think maybe there's some other movies that there are movies like this that are well regarded. So it's like kind of weird. So I won't say it is bad, but it's coherent.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was really funny, they changed the source material a lot, and apparently one of the biggest notes is the studio said originally that the main character wasn't likable enough. And that's wild to me, that I have to read this book and figure out how could he have been worse?
Yeah.
He was so bad.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to look at.
He's so unpleasant. He has so many violent or almost violent outbursts that are like tantrums. And I think that a better movie could have possibly connected to, he did just get out of the military, maybe he has PTSD, but the movie doesn't touch on that at all.
Yeah, they don't explore his military stuff at all.
No, they act as if he is making reasonable decisions.
Yeah. Would you say it deserved it? Or?
I think it deserved it. I think it was bad. It was boring. All the stuff that was supposed to be funny was not funny, and a lot of the stuff that was supposed to be dramatic was funny. Yeah. Which is the mark of a bad movie.
That's a bad movie, yeah. Okay, so we'll be back next week with something else.
Talking more.
Talking more.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.